This is the report that ended Dominic Raab's career. It took 5 months to write, almost 50 pages. Adam Tolley Casey upheld 2 complaints about the behaviour of Dominic Raab. One when he was Foreign Secretary, the other when he was Justice Secretary. Let's look at both. So here's from when he was Foreign Secretary, and Adam Tolley found that the former Deputy Prime Minister acted in a way which was intimidating in the sense of unreasonably and persistently aggressive. He found that his conduct also involved an abuse or a misuse of power in a way that undermines or humiliates. His conduct was bound to be experienced as undermining or humiliated by the affected individual, and it was so experienced. Now let's look at his time as Justice Secretary. And here, Adam Tolley describes how Dominic Raab would get frustrated when some of his steers, his recommendations about proposed reforms, hadn't been implemented in the papers that were being presented to him. And he describes that there was a bit of dispute over exactly what Dominic Raab said, whether he said the work was utterly useless or woeful. But then Tolley concludes, on balance, I think that these were the words used. They comprised criticism that was not in the nature of constructive feedback. They were reasonably understood as insulting personal criticism. But then there's some of the context around the behaviour at that time. This is also from Dominic Raab's time in the Ministry of Justice. And he talked to Dominic Raab, who made clear that he takes a strong view, the former minister, that officials should be prepared to answer questions about the things that they're presenting to him. And if they don't, he's quite prepared to offer criticism. In the words of Tolley, unconstructive criticism. What Dominic Raab would do is he'd talk about the lack of basic information, or the basics that they were able to provide. Now, Tolley's view is that this is unacceptable. He says it's likely to be experienced as an unfairly personal criticism by the individual to whom the comment is directed and was so experienced by some individuals. Viewers will have to decide whether or not it's right for a minister to get cross because civil servants are apparently not doing their job. But then there is this. Dominic Raab makes another allegation that the policy priorities including the Bill of Rights and reforms to the parole system were not liked by the civil service. Dominic Raab perceived what he described as cultural resistance to these policy items, amongst others, in his remit. So he's alleging that civil servants, in some cases, were biased and not doing what he wants. But the most toxic allegation was also from his time as Justice Secretary. And that's because there was a big group complaint that was made to Adam Tolley, a group of junior civil servants all working together. Now, Adam Tolley admits he doesn't know how many people were involved. But look at this. Only some of those individuals in this group had any direct experience of the Deputy Prime Minister. Some had never even met him at all, but were seeking to support their colleagues. I think some Tories, when looking at that sentence, might be wondering whether some people in Whitehall had an agenda.